Doesn't have to be perfect, because once the woodshed is built, we're gonna have to move this pile again anyway. If you remember, I get about 3 cords a year. So I've got a fresh cord that's pretty much green at the moment, but it was cut in early March. So I'm feeling by the time we get to November, we should be good. Alright guys, so I decided to move the other rack too. We're going to burn this wood in the fall, so it's not the end of the world. Some spruce. You can tell the spruce by the bark, and it's not very dense, right? As you can see, it's the veins in it are really quite far apart as compared to something like a maple. See the veins? Very, very close together. It's very dense wood. Great for burning, longevity and heat. So we got some white birch in here. Comes off like paper, see? You can see the difference between spruce and birch. Look how dense it is on the one on the left compared to the one on the right. Birch, spruce. Alright guys, so we got that quarter wood moved. So total of cord, let's say. Pick up a few of these little scraps. Fold up these tarps and put them back on the wood pile, and we'll clean out this area a little bit. Then we're going to get the tractor out, and I got a lot of these rocks in this garden, so we're going to get, you know, like all those rocks out of there, and then I'm going to back drag a bit. You can't really see it on screen, but I got a little bit of a dip here, so I'm going to go in and pull out all these rocks and then pull this back and level it, and then we'll go on to step 2. Stick around. All right guys, so I've got the Stihl combi system. It's actually a really great system. Just get a pull saw on like that in 2 seconds flat. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a review on it. Bring you guys take a look. So I think we're going to take that one last branch there, and that one up there, and we'll clean up some of the dead stuff. So now what we're going to do is start on that garden. I'm glad I took a little look around, but now you can see all those branches are gone. So right where our woodshed's gonna go, we got no more branch issue. We'll see later. I might take that one down, but I don't know. I kind of want to keep the ambiance. So let's get the Kubota out and start on this garden. right, guys, we got all the garden taken out. You can see I got rid of all those big rocks. I didn't want to bore you with all that. All I did was take the rocks out and take a bit of the I just cut the flowers off at the roots and I brought them over there. But we're all set here. I might change the idea of putting 0 3/4 down. I wanted to put 0 3/4 everywhere here to maybe park the trailer, but I think I'm going to rethink that. I had a lot of roots, huge roots that I got out of here. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. We got the wood moved, the other wood pile moved, and man, we have some really cool red granite here. That was all bordering around the garden. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I said, you know what, instead of digging a hole and burying it, I'm going to keep it. So I guess you could say that's phase 1 done. Well, all right, guys, as you can see, my neighbor gave me these 10 elephant feet, and you saw in the previous clip that we had to go and pick them up with the four-wheeler and the trailer. So now what I want to do is start squaring this out, right? So we're going to have a 8 by 10, sorry, and it's going to be my first build. I'm hoping that what I've learned on YouTube about making you know, a perfect squared so that it's squared everywhere, I'm going to hopefully that's going to work out. We're going to try it out and see how we do. I don't have metal stakes, but I do have these winter stake poles. They're not square. You know, when I was watching YouTube videos, a lot of guys use squares and they use this hook and loop system so that the you can keep the lawn taut. But I don't know, we're going to check it out. We're going to see. This is all new to me. As you remember last year, my buddy Chris came and helped me build that deck, so I learned a lot from him, and I'm hoping that, you know, this being my first build, I'm hoping that I don't mess it up too much. So if you see that I'm making mistakes, please leave it in the comments, because obviously I'd really like to learn. I have a lot of other projects that I want to do here at the cottage, but we're going to give it a shot. So let's see if we can square out this 8 by 10 woodshed. Alright, so now we got our 4 posts, and what I've learned on the YouTube, along with a little bit of geometry, is we're going to run a line from that one to that one, and that one to that one, and then we're going to square within the line. So let's see how it works out. So that's our 2 lines. I'll just tighten that one up, and then we should be able to make our rectangle within these lines. And we're way past 8 feet, so you see that's when it starts to really square up. So we need to come with our whole line back to here. This whole line right here is about 4 inches too far. So I marked the stake where 8 feet is. So we're going to do the same thing on this end, and then we're going to put the stake in at 8 feet and then bring our line back and then remeasure. And right about here is about 8 feet. So now theoretically, the 2 inner poles should now be exactly 8 feet apart from each other. Now what we're going to do is take our line and do a deviation to see where exactly it is exactly or close enough to 8 feet. We zipped down to the store and bought these 18 by 18 patio tiles. So the theory is that I'm going to shave off underneath the tiles and then level it, and then put the elephant foot right on top. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough support under. So as I said, we've got an 8-foot wide beam there, and I'm going to sit it on a real 2x8 milled spruce log and cut it down to size so that it'll fit inside the elephant foot. So we should be good there. Basically, from what I've read, is the rule of thumb for every inches you have, that's the amount of feet of span you can have. So in my case, it would be a 2x8, so I should be able to have 8 feet of span before I would need another support. However, I think I'm going to be okay. I've got 8 feet, and I'm going to have 3 supports on the ground with a 2x8 plank, so we should be good there. It's going to be a little bit weaker on the end because we're going to do the 3 supports there too, but right down the middle I'm going to have a support there and a support there. So I think we're going to be good. All we need to do now is get the spray paint out. I'm going to spray out the lines, put circles where I would like the post to be, and then we're going to start excavating with a shovel a bit just to try to get everything level, and then hopefully start our build. Let's get the spray paint going. Huge root going through, so we got that leveled out there, and then again I've got it leveled out to there. Once we get this, we'll be able to square it up. Woo. Nice one. Now just need to get this ground a little bit more level. Put the tile in, we'll see where we're at. That's looking pretty good, right? We're good there, but we need to come up a little bit on this corner. We got all 4 corners leveled out, so the 4 they're all level, and now we're going to start working on the middle. Gotta love that. It's done and leveled out. Everything's level, no matter which way you put it. So that was a task and a half. Took 6 hours to get that done. Maybe because I'm not the professional, but it's done. So now what we need to do, there's our milled wood pile. So just a little backstory, you might have seen the video. That pile used to be a whole bunch of spruce trees here. I had about 7 or 8 of them. So we need to move this pile here because we need the bottom ones, of course. So we're going to get at that now. So as you can see, I need to notch it out there, right? Because these are real 2x8s milled wood. Got a little mess up here. We'll notch a little more than before. So what I'm going to do is I'll tap that down with the hammer after. Once I get, my square done all the way around, I'll tap it down with the hammer so that I can start screwing and adding, the joists coming across. So that's where we're at for now. Alright guys, so how I'm notching it out is a DeWalt oscillating blade, and I'm going to just slowly go in like this, and we're going to thin it out a bit. There you go. So we got to do that for the rest of them, and what I did on this time is I put an X on the side that the board is going to be facing, but lots more cutting. Stick around. She's gonna fit. All right. Perfect. Good, good. We got all three. Now we're going to start, you know, going in there, and that's when it's going to really get squared up. So I'm going to take my measurements a few times to make sure. But that's how she's shaping up. Always measure twice, cut once. Alright guys, so we're doing the floor with 3/4 inch regular plywood, and we're applying an epoxy finish on the bottom. So this will be the underside of the shed. The reason for it, epoxy is going to stop any kind of moisture infiltrating. We hope we have enough paint left, but we are using the Rust-Oleum concrete garage floor paint. Should be good enough. But man, is it ever hot today. It is stinking hot. It's got to be 33 degrees out, sweating like dogs. But I mean, when else do you have to do these projects is in the summer? Stick around. Got a little problem going on right here. So I started doing the wall, screwed down the floor, started doing the wall, and I started to get to thinking, you know, second guessing on my first build has been the thing that I have been doing all along. So I started counting up all this lumber, and then I started counting up the available lumber that we have in stock, right? Those are mostly 2x6s, 1x3s, 1x4s, and then we got some more 2x8s here. So yesterday I was grappling with the idea of doing 6-7, and I found it a little small, and the thinking was, you know, in case somebody else were to buy this property and something happens to me, and wanted to turn into a regular shed, 6 in the back here really wouldn't be the best, but we have learned that we don't have enough lumber, so we are doing 6 with a 7 front, so 6 in the back, 7 in the front. And we may even have to rip a couple of 2x8s down to 2x6s. So I now got to go cut a foot off each one of those. Out. I'm going to start marking off 16 off center. We're going to screw them all together put our top plate on and raise her up. Yep, looking good. Alright guys, so we're going to screw them together so you can see that the board has a small little wave to it, right? We want to always have the wave on the outside because then it will get sucked in with the screws, right? So we have one there, and we have a bit of a bend on this one too, as you can see. So this one is going to sit flat and it's going to push that bend down. So we're going to start screwing it all together. So I always put the X on the opposite side to where the board's supposed to go, and you know, we're going to put them all together here and then start raising that wall. What I've added here is some supporting arms so that when I bring the wall up we can screw those in real quick. Like I said, I did on 16-inch centers. I also put these backing plates here for when I lift it up. So I'm going to pull it out a bit, and as I lift it up, those backing plates will stabilize it for a second or two until I lift up that arm. But so far so good. I'm liking the build, I'm enjoying it, and hopefully it's going to work out. I'm sure that thing weighs a ton. Alright, let's see what we can do. Whew. We're going to just tack that real quick. We can adjust it after, but we're hung up on the other side. Alright guys, so we're building wall number 2, and what I'm doing is I cut this board, and I've used the same board throughout all of the walls because 3 of our walls are all going to be the same height. So I'm just using it as a template. I like to do 2 scratches. A little bit crazy that way, but we're motoring. We're building wall number 2, and we're going to see how we get done today, but moving along really nice. Sorry guys. So as you can see, I've got everything on the 16s, right? But I had to move this side on this side, and then I went on this side just to compensate for this, you know, this little area here. So I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. You can't really see it. I'm happy with it, and that's all that counts. Let's get this thing screwed together and get it up. Alright, so we're going to push her back a bit like we did on the other one. The other one, we're not going to put a bracing like we did with the other one, just simply because it's going to come up and it's going to lean on here. This is good and solid, and we're going to tack it right into that wall. So let's get her up. Alright guys, so we got a couple of these clamps. Thank God my neighbor had some. I'm going to adjust the bottom and clamp it in where I want it to be. This clamp's not going to be big enough. Let's see, I got a bigger one in the garage, I think. So this will do up here, that's for sure. I'm going to make sure that's nice and straight. And we're going to really lock it in. And on the bottom, I'm going to go in the garage and get that other clamp and lock that in. And then at the front, I'll just try and lock it in so that it's all squared up. So you can see how nice and tight that is all along. The screws will just bring that super snug. And you can see we're not too far off. We're right on the line for our front wall. So I think what we're going to do is we're not going to play with it anymore. We're going to lock that one in and call that wall done.